Hi guys, a very good morning to everybody present here. Thank you so much for joining this session with us. Just allow us some more minutes so that we can we're just waiting for a few attendees who want to attend. So just allow us a few minutes and then we can start the session. Meanwhile, if you have any questions about the session, you can put down in Q&A. Thank you. Very good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for being patient and thank you so much for joining the session with us today. The topic for today would be automation, in Python. So we will have one of our experienced mentors who will, just take the session with you. There will be a lot of technical, it is a coding session today, unlike the previous sessions that we have. So just be prepared in case if you want to simultaneously practice those codes, just keep your laptops or tablets handy. All right, so we have Swati here to take over the session. Before that, in case if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put down in Q&A session. Thank you. Over to you, Swati.
Hi everyone. Good morning and happy to share happy Dhanteras. So now today's topic is automating repetitive tasks using Python. So now we all know, right? Even the most tenacious of us can be bored out of our brains by performing monotonous jobs. Yes. So fortunately, we live in the digital age and which provides many tools to relieve us of such tedious work. While that, considering that and keeping that in capacity may appear to be dependent on our, understanding of programming languages, we are here to tell you that automation is for everyone. Even if you're a total beginner, you can start with automation. Even if it seems intimidating at first, we guarantee that writing your scripts will be rewarding to you. So when you see, you are automating the simple tasks, maybe of file reading, writing, email sharing, and whatnot, doing simple calculations, and how it can save you a lot of time in the long run, you you are going to feel really blessed about that. So begin by considering the repetition, the repetitious tasks that you perform daily and identifying those that you believe may be automated, right? Now break down your workload into smaller subtasks and consider automating at least part of them. So from there, where you can start the automation. So after you've identified a suitable task that needs to be automated for your ease, you'll need to select the appropriate instrument for that. Yeah, and that isn't easy, provided there are so many options which are there. Also, the options and also, we are not master of everything, right? So our limited knowledge as well. So right now with this class, we'll try to persuade you that, Python is the right choice for you because it's simple to learn and has proven effective in various fields. So without further ado, let's get started and see why Python is a good choice for automation, right? So who uses Python today? I think you might, come across this question, or you might have thought about it a lot. So the short answer is millions of developers around the world, along with a lot of other folks who you can count them as developers or not. They're still getting a hold of Python. And there is an estimated, that there are around 8.2 million developers, Python developers alone, right? And of course, there are also quite a lot of people who use Python that wouldn't be captured by the sorts of statistics and surveys. Python isn't just used by developers, right? It's used by marketers, researchers, data scientists, even kids now these days. They've started learning Python. Those who pursue Python out of hobby, IT professionals, and all sorts of other people. So you don't have to make your entire living writing Python to get some real benefits from learning it. But that is one career choice, a good career choice that you can make. So at a professional level, though Python is very useful, for example, there are many companies which are running on Python. You talk about Google and its subsidiaries like YouTube. They use Python for a wide variety of things. In fact, YouTube is mostly built on, Python. Now, Industrial Light and Magic, it's the company behind the special effects of Star Wars and hundreds of other films. They have been using Python for years now, for the lightning works and the CGI, the graphics. And Facebook and the subsidiaries like Instagram, it uses Python for various elements of the infrastructure over there. Okay. So there are the Netflix, Reddit, these are all, they are kind of like working on Python, using the Python framework. So it's actually a good choice. So Python at some level, a good way to check is to search a job. Try to find the opportunities. What are the opportunities? You'll see vast numbers of, companies that are running and they are talking for or they are hiring for the Python developers out there. So everybody is using Python. And what are they using Python to do? We are going to get into that. Where does Python really fit into the real world? There are so many, different fields that you can explore with Python. Yes. And with that comes the lucrative packages that we have, for any Python developer. You see there is so much of scope which we, currently have around. You talk about data analytics, you talk about, programming, AI, ML. So with that comes the lucrative salary packages and a promising career that you can build up, right? So how does it fit in, or how is Python used in real world? Let's talk about that. So one is data analytics. It's a very cool field to get into. So as companies across every industry, they collect more and more data. They need people who can make some sense out of that data, right? So there comes the play of a data analytics. It's a high paying job. You would start anywhere from I mean, like, I'm not giving you any figure, but still, start from a single digit and it's going up to the double digits in just a year. Is that what I'm saying right now, right? So data science, AI, artificial intelligence, maybe like an example would be video streaming platforms. They want to increase the user engagement and stickiness of clients. So a data science team there could, use Python to build a predictive model. So there again, Python comes into play along with data science. Web development, you can even do web development along with Python. You want to build a new version of a website with specific features. So that can be done with Python and Django framework as well. Game development. So there are so many areas. Software development alone, a company plans to build a new email client. So the developers, they choose to use Python over there again. You see the opportunities they open up when you go into, or you talk about a programming language that's going to give you an array of opportunities. Data engineering, again, when you talk about data science, data analytics, data engineering again. So many Python libraries that makes it a great option for data analysts and data scientists also make Python an important language for data engineers, right? So you can build pipelines, combine data sets, clean the data, work with the APIs there. So that is again one fascinating field to get into. Robotics with Python. I'm sure you might have heard this term a lot these days, robotics with Python. And it's a popular language in the field of robotics, both for the, the hobby pursuings and the professionals. And maybe you might be building a robotic arm for manufacturing facility. There we can use, or you actually use Python to program their behavior, taking advantage of this. So you see the opportunities that are coming up with just single language that we have. Automation, that one that we are going to talk now. So it's great for automating repetitive tasks, and there are almost endless real world examples of cases for Python automation. For example, it's a popular tool in DevOps. I hope you might have heard of that, because it makes automating systems and processes efficient and transparent, right? But outside the realm of software development, it's also widely used to automate everything from complex to simple personal processes like, filling in a spreadsheet. You talk about, Excels, or responding to even mails, reading the and writing the file, manipulation of data, simple calculations. All of those just fit into the automated world. Okay. So now, moving on, I just want Ruby to take over the session a little bit. She's going to brief you about, I think there's a poll coming up for you guys.
All right, Swati, thank you so much for that. Yes, before we start the session, we will just take up a poll here just to understand your interest level in data science and Python. Let's see. We just have a poll right on the screen now. So yes. So just want to ask, would you like to build your career in data science and Python? After knowing all what Swati said about the career option and the pay packages, how many of us want to build a career in data science and Python? Right, so we have few seconds left for the answer. Once we have this, I think we will have somebody from our team. If in case you want to know more about data science and Python, we will have somebody from the team connecting with you post the session. Okay, so the poll has ended now. Perfect. So we have majority of people who want to build a career in data science, right? So before, I hand over the session to Swati, just want to, throw some light on how we have helped candidates to build their career in data science and what kind of package we have given them. So we at Unicaksha, we definitely is an upskilling platform that helps you get a desired, job. So when it comes to data science, it is surprising that, we have placed candidates at an average package of 10 to 12 lakhs per annum, and that too for a fresher. So that's the kind of a start that you can look for a career when you move into data science. Apart from that, if you want to know what is the highest that has been paid to a data scientist, by Unicaksha, it is 25 lakhs. So I'm sure that this is a very exciting thing that any and everybody wants to start their career with. So surely just give us an opportunity in case if you want to know more about it, we'll give you a detailed counseling session as to how you can go ahead with it. Right. So thank you so much, Swati, for this. Over to you. But before that, we have a question in the Q&A, which is like a basic question where somebody is asking, what do you mean by API?
Sure. So API, as we might be aware of that, it's application programming interface, and these are the mechanism, or you could say the kind of like an interface that enables two software components. There are different applications, maybe two different software components that you want to communicate with each other without using a set of maybe like a set of different rules or protocols over there. For example, there is a weather bureau software that you have, and it contains daily weather data, right? So the weather app on your phone, it talks to the system via APIs and shows you daily weather updates on your phone. So APIs are just a simple application programming interfaces. These are interfaces, a set of definitions and protocols for building and integrating application software so that two kinds of different softwares, they can interact with each other, share data among them, and work accordingly.
Thank you so much, Swati, for that. I think we can continue with the session. Thank you so much.
Now, how to start with task automation? I might have covered this one a little before, just to give you a recap again on it. So first of all, I am here to tell you that, automation is definitely for you. So even if you are a complete newbie in this field, you can still start with automation directly. So even though it might seem, daunting at first right now, I promise you that building your first script will feel very rewarding. You'll see something or the other happening by itself, and your new skills will save you a lot more of time in the long run. So there is a brief step-by-step guide that I've already talked, which is, start by thinking about repetitive tasks maybe your workday entails over there. So identify those that you think that could be automated. Divide your workload into smaller subtasks. So, if you are an organization, there is something that you guys do on a daily basis, and that's kind of like a manual thing. You think that, we can have a better, system over there. Why not think of an alternative to automate that task? Maybe sending out an email each day. That is repetitive, right? And that's the same kind of emails that go out to the employees every day, maybe. Automate that task. Those kind of tasks can be automated. So think of ways you could automate at least some of them. That is going to save you a lot of time and energy, and also going to increase the efficiency, right? So once you find a suitable task, you have to choose the right tool. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that the tool I'm going to start with, or we are going to explore, is Python. Speaking from a Python's developer's perspective over here. So among the sheer diversity of languages that we have and are available, Python is relatively easy to learn, and it has proven itself useful in variety of fields that we've talked about. In different fields, you could use just easily this programming language. So the next thing which comes up is, what is Python automation, and why use Python for task automation? Talking about Python again, it offers great readability, easy to learn, approachable syntax. The latter, it resembles plain English. When you say approachable syntax, the syntax of Python is just plain English, and it makes an excellent choice to start your journey with. So when compared with other programming languages out there, Python clearly stands out as one of the simplest in the lot. Okay. So that is where it is, have taken over you could say, the industry, that is simple to start with, it's simple to implement as well. The advantages of Python, they make the learning process fast and pleasant. And with little time and effort, you will gain enough knowledge to write simple scripts in Python. So this smooth learning curve significantly speeds up development, even for the experienced developers there. So even for the experienced developers, they are becoming more efficient. They do not have to write much hefty code. The codes are much straightforward. They have to think about the logic, which we all do, which we all have to do. But the writing of the code becomes simple. So another thing that may convince you to use Python, that it comes with great data structure support. So data structure, I hope you might be aware of it. It enables you to store and access data. And Python, it offers many types there, you could say thereof by default, including lists, dictionaries, tuples, and sets. So these structures let you manage data easily, efficiently, and when chosen correctly, so increase the software performance as well. So furthermore, the data is stored securely and in a consistent manner, right? So even better, it lets you code or create your own data structure, so which in turn makes the language very flexible for us to use. So while data structure may not seem all that important to someone who's a newcomer to this language, trust me on this, the deeper you go, the more important your choice of data structure tends to become. That shows how good of a developer you are. So you can automate nearly everything with Python, from sending emails, filling out the PDFs or the forms, CSV files. So there is a lot to interacting with external APIs as well, and sending the HTTP request, So whatever your idea is for automation, it's more likely that you can pull it off using just Python and the modules and tools provided by it. So tons of libraries that are created for Python make the language really powerful. There are many libraries which you'll be seeing currently, and which allows developers to tackle everything from machine learning and web scraping to managing your own, operating system. So that is one great advantage to start with Python. Its strengths also include a decent support structure and a large community of enthusiasts. The support structure, the community, is actually vast. So you get a lot of support. If you're stuck, you can easily go to the forums and start on with it. The language, it continues to grow in popularity. and articles are covering basically all of the concepts underpinning the language. It keeps popping up, right? So you can see that how important this simple, programming language is becoming as we are advancing, year by year. So it has a great community around it, and the language itself in a constant development. You know, there are new development advancements always coming up, new modules popping up for different tasks that can be done with it. There are new third-party libraries which keep showing up. The thing that comes up is what all things and uh, can be automated using Python. So as we talked about, you can, almost everything with a little bit of work, basically any repetitive work or task can be automated. To do that, you only need Python on your computer, libraries that are required for that given, task to be done. And I'm not going to teach you Python currently. I'm just going to show you that automation is easy with it. So maybe I'm going to use and, start with some programming over here. We'll be doing some web scraping and a little bit of examples of seeing how different libraries can be made in use. Okay. So for simple automation, built-in libraries should be enough. If you're talking about simple automation, there are built-in libraries that you can start with that is just going to do the task for you. Okay. So let's get started. So let's take a look at a few interesting tasks which we can do using Python. So there is one called as language translator that you can use. For that, you need to install, translate if you don't have it currently. So the first thing, maybe if you don't have this module, is you might have to go pip install, on the command line, and you can have it. I particularly have it, so I'm just going to work from translate, import translator. Okay, I see. Import translator. So I'm on a Jupyter notebook. Okay, it's easy to work with currently. So I'm on a Jupyter notebook. You might be creating different scripts. You might be storing it in different, PY files and then running those scripts. That's use case to use case. Okay. Then using translator equals to creating a variable. And here I want to go for two lang. Maybe I'll talk about done to German. Okay. So I want whatever text I write over there to be translated to German. Okay. So you're going to run it. Now you're going to give the text for translation. I know there is Google Translate, but not all times we'll be integrating that. You might have to, make your own translator. Therein you can use this module translation, translate. Okay. And translation equals to translator dot translate. And here you can give maybe like okay, and then you simply just print translation. So now you've got the German of good morning, that is Guten Morgen. Okay. And this is one basic example of how automation. So this is kind of automation, you are not doing it step by step. You are not putting any other thing over there. You're not, writing ABCDs and, trying to make sense out of everything. You're simply just using a module over there to incorporate into your project if you have this translation module over there. You can even translate between any two languages of your choice, maybe again over there from and to. Right now just given maybe like good morning over there. I can even do something like translator one, let's say, equals to later, and I want to go from one equals to from from language equals to whichever language you choose. Let's say we choose German, and it should be to a language, and you can go to maybe Spanish. So let's run this one. Okay, perfect. Let's do translation equals to translator one dot translate. And here we are going to do maybe the same thing. Let's write Guten Morgen over here. And run. And then print translation one. So you've got Buenos Dias. So that is one simple thing that you can work with without having to worry about, all the languages which are there. You can simply just use this translator module, and work with it. You can also, convert currencies perfectly, without having to worry about putting every different kind of, converter over there, or how to, if there is any finance kind of website you're trying to make, or web application there, or any kind of software where you need the currency or the currency converter. So you can even start with that. So first thing that you need is that you need to install pip install. I'm just writing for your reference. You do not install here, you will do it on command prompt, and then you do currency converter. Okay, so this is the currency converter that you need to install. After this, you'll add it to the path as well. Now maybe you want to work with a currency, right? You want to convert it to some other, maybe like rupees to US dollar, or you might want to do euro to dollar, something like that. So how you will do that? So from first is the import that goes from currency converter. Okay, let me try and find this currency converter. Import currency converter is not here. Give me a second. Okay, let me run a command line. So we'll be running install. It should be install converter. I think we might have to give version 0.16. Okay. So here you'll see that, we have a currency converter that, I'm trying to work with in that last PNB, Jupyter notebook. So it's simple. You start from currency converter, you import the currency converter, then you make use of the function which is there, and then you simply just convert. You put in the, the how much, what the amount may be, and then from euro to USD you are trying to convert. That is the one thing that we had to do over here. Okay, the currency underscore converter. Okay, sure, no worries. So that is how it works. Okay. So that is about currency converter. Then you can even send emails. The SMT plib was the one module that was used earlier. Right now it has stopped, with the Gmail integration. So there are other ways that you might have to work. The basic calculation you can even do, in day-to-day life, calculation is everywhere. So based on the user input, you can perform basic arithmetic operations such as, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Then in the command line, you can, start writing maybe some different codes like def add, and you want to add some numbers, maybe n1, comma n2. Okay, simple one. You return n1 plus n2. That is a very basic thing. You can even do for, simple multiplication, addition. Now here you can call the function with 2, 3. And you get the output as 5. So that is basic calculation that you can perform. You can make a whole program out of it, give some, selection operations, user inputs, and based on that, if and else, you can create a whole calculator program for it. So Python is a powerful language that will make you more productive and efficient the more you study and practice. So if you're really hippie, if you're someone who's going to start with it, so let's see another example based on that. We can start with web scraping. That's again one part of, Python automation. So web scraping is somewhere or is a concept used to describe the use of program or algorithm to extract and process large amounts of data from the web. So whether you are a data scientist, or engineer, or anybody who analyzes large amounts of data sets, the ability to scrape data from the web is a useful skill to have. How you can get some details out from any Python, Python, I'm so sorry, web application you want, or maybe some, website is there, you want to get some data out from there, how you can use that. So let's say you find data from the web and there is no direct way to download it, So web scraping using Python is a skill you can use to extract data into a useful form that can be imported. So now we are going to see how we can extract data from the web using Python's beautiful soup module, which is there. And with the help of it, we can start the scraping. That is again one task for automation. Okay, that's why we are getting into that. Then you can even do the data manipulation and cleaning using the Python pandas library. You can even visualize the data using the matplotlib library and so on. Okay. So Just in a bit, let's start with it. Now I'm just importing a couple of libraries which we need, NumPy, Pandas, uh, Matplotlib for visualization. And if time permits, we'll also see Seaborn. Now, the next thing is to perform web scraping. These are the important libraries that I've, a different kind of libraries that is going to help you for the whole process. So I'm just importing the necessary modules, Panda, NumPy, Matplotlib, PyPlot for plotting purpose, and Seaborn. So here I'm working on Jupyter Notebook. In order to perform web scraping again, you should import the libraries which are important to that, which is the request and BS4, which is Beautiful Soup. Okay. So again, from URL lib dot request import URL open. And another one that we need is Beautiful Soup, which is BS4 import Beautiful Soup. Perfect. Now, after importing all of these necessary modules, you should specify the URL containing the data set over here and pass it to the URL open method to get the HTML of the page over there, right? So for that, I'm going to do URL equals to, and I'm just choosing any file. Okay, so I can use the one from a vast list over here. And I'll be using a data set, okay, which is taken from a 10K array. Okay, and it's based somewhere, June 2017 or 2018 data. And what we'll be doing from it we'll be analyzing the performance over here, let's say, of the runners, and what was the average finish time that we'll be seeing for the runners. And did the runners, their finish time follows a normal distribution, and where were there any performance difference between males and females over there of various age groups? That is what let's try and analyze from this. So for that, the first thing we need is URL, and here the URL of that is http www.time.com/result/ okay, it is 2017 GPR 10K http www.hubertiming.com, just rechecking results 27 GPT 10K. Okay, turning and taking the HTML out of it. So for that, we'll be using URL open method, pass in the URL here itself. Let's run and see. Okay, perfect. Now getting the HTML of the page is just the first step over here. And the next step that we have is to create a beautiful soup object from the HTML. And this is done by passing the HTML to the beautiful soup function, which is there. This beautiful soup package is used to parse the HTML, okay? And that is, it takes the raw HTML text and break it into Python objects. Okay, the second argument, which will go over here, which will be of LXML, is the HTML parser, okay, whose detail you do not need to worry about right now, but we'll still be using it. So I'm just creating a soup object over here, and beautiful soup. Here we need to pass the HTML. We have it in HTML, and the parser is LXML. Type you can check for is soup. So if I just run it, you see BS4 beautiful soup, that the type of this particular object is of BS4. Okay. Now the soup object is allows you to extract interesting information about the website you're scraping, such as getting the title of the page. So let's see, that's another automated task that you'll have your hand, is if you just want the title out from the different websites which are there. How you can do that? Simply create a variable, and there is soup.title. Okay, and simply print title here. So you've got race results for 2017 Intel grade. This is the title of that page. Okay, so that is again a very simple thing to see. You can also get the text of the web page and quickly print it out to check, if it is what you expect. So if you want the text, there is a text you can work with, or get text. So it is get underscore text. And the next thing is you need to print it, right? So print. So you've got all of the text over here. That is the text. That's a simple website that you're trying to access over here. Okay, try to get some data out of it. You can use, there is another method called as find all method of soup to extract useful HTML tags which are there within any web page. Let's say you just want the hyperlinks from that text page. How you can use that? You can use soup dot find all, and here you give the name of the tag. I need all of the anchor tags. So look, I've got all the anchor tags over here without doing anything else, without trying to get the data out by myself. So this is the output, and HTML tag sometimes comes with attributes as well, such as, class, maybe source, etc. So these attributes, they provide additional information about the HTML, right, element. So you can use a for loop over there again and get the href method to extract and print only the hyperlink. So that can also be done, maybe like all links. And here we can do soup dot find all, and find all I'm going to give a. The next one is to use a for loop to extract all the links. One link, and I just want to get the href. So print link dot get, and we need href. So let's see. Okay, this is what we've got. These are the different links which were there on different anchors that we had. So the print out table rows only and pass the tr argument in the soup will find all. Okay, so if you just want to print the first maybe 10 rows, 20 rows, you can even do that. So let's say you can do here itself, rows equals to soup dot find all, and you need table rows. Okay, the next would be to print. Now here, when you're trying to print, instead of just writing rows, you can give a number. Okay. You've got, these are 10 different rows. Okay. Or whatever is the data over there currently. So you've got that data. So this is how, this is just a basic example, So the goal over here is to just show you how these, tasks, sometimes you might find oh God, I have a website in hand, I have to extract, data out of it. how can I do that? If you are not aware of maybe, different Python modules, how things work with a simpler method, you might go and try and, a different way maybe, which is long, tedious, you know, mind-boggling, you could say. Somewhere you have to put a lot of effort. But over here, you see with the simple Python modules, that provides you of such efficiency it gives you that you can automate all these tasks and you can simply just get the data out of it. We have not seen the site, the site which I'm trying to get the data out. And apart from that, you guys are able to see that there is so much of data which we can just get in a nick of time using simple command, using a simple library. This is part of automation. This is what automation does. This is where it comes into play again. So you can even use regular expressions over here, though it is highly discouraged since it requires several lines of code and one can easily make mistakes over there. But if you need regular expression, you can use regular expressions over here for performing the task. But that again, would be a tedious one. Why? It's going to increase the number of code or the lines of code for you, So the goal again over here, let's say from this web page, I try to find something, I need a table out of it from a web page and convert it into a data frame for easier manipulation later on. So how can I do that? Just to show you again, for row in rows, I need table data. So that would be row dot, find all, and table data would be TD, okay? And then print. So I'll be printing row TD. The next would be print. I've got row TD, and if you want, you can check for the type of your. Look, so you've got the type it as result set. Okay, it's a result set. And this is the table data which we've got out of it. These are all the table data, TDs. So you can use accordingly whatever the work you want to do basically over here. And with the help of it, there is a lot which you can automate. There is a lot which you can achieve just with the simple Python modules which are there. Taking you on to the different types of modules for automation which are there, So automation, we know, is an addition of technology, right? So it's another addition to the technology by mankind that perform tasks with reduced human assistance. Now here itself, you've seen this, you've seen the converter, you've seen the translator. There was not much of a manual effort involved. The only thing that was involved, writing the simple script. Here again in web scraping, you saw that, these are the simple scripts. Without you guys looking at that particular, website, you are able to get the information out of it, right? So this is a particular website. So we've used this to get the information out. Let it come up. So it looks something like this. Okay. These are the simple tables. Okay. That is a simple table that we are trying to work on. It's a data set. Okay. There are links like for this, for each one of them, there is a different link, that for the anchor tags that we've tried to get the result out. So without even seeing, we've got so much information out of it. So that is where, Python plays an important role in making a task easier, without any assistance to the processes that facilitate the feedback loop between operations and development teams so that iterative updates can be deployed faster to the application or production over there. That is one great advantage. There are different types of automation libraries in Python. For GUI automation, you have PyAuto GUI that you can work. Let's just Python script control the mouse and keyboard for you if you want to automate something. For like if you want to move the mouse, click or maybe type within a window or the application, you restrict the area to it, it's going to do that. You can even send the keystrokes to the application, take the screenshot, give pictures when required. That is, you have another one called as 5-in auto. For full stack automation, you might have heard of a term called as Selenium. That is one of the most, you could say, the foremost popular modules, which is used in Python to perform testing and connect to different browsers. So that is used to automate web browser interaction with Python. That is your Selenium. And you have request. Okay, so you have request, this one, which we are using. You have beautiful soup, the one that we've already used. You have PyBuilder. PyBuilder is an automation tool which is written in pure Python, mainly targeting the Python ecosystem over there, and it supports a concept of dependency-based programming. Okay, so for test automation, you have a robot framework. Okay, so robot, it can test other things like MongoDB, FTPs, Android APIs, mainframes. You have PyTest for testing purpose, Lattice, Pandas for for manipulation and analysis, Matplotlib. There are many different libraries that you could basically use, right, and work with. So if you guys have questions, feel free to ask.
Guys, as Swati is there with us in this session, you still have an opportunity to get your question answered. So kindly put your questions in the chat Q&A session so that we can take it up. All right, Swati, we have a question which says, is Django suitable for building CPU intensive web apps?
So when we talk about, CPU intensive, maybe like backend development you're talking about, what do we understand by it is, terms like intensive or expensive, they are relative, and it isn't always obvious that what activities are CPU intensive. So if you have an application that you want to work with, you can easily work with Django over there. So you can use Django for that. It is less cost effective, and it takes more time to develop application, but it has a single thread. So based on the single thread management, it might not prove to be a great framework to work with CPU intensive applications because of its you could say non-coordinated programming. It makes hard for the developers to work with it. So on the other hand, what you can use for that would be something like Node.js. Both of them, they have a good, what do we call it? A good, they both have their own cons, and their own pros. But the Django, it's so deadline oriented, it allows developers to develop competent applications readily. But when you talk about CPU intensive, there you might want to skip it, because of its single thread mechanism, which comes into play. So in place of that, you can go for Node.js and you can work with that.
Okay, well, I have another question in the chat box which says, how can you join the bootcamp, right? So yes, so we will have a quick poll that will be running here. So in case if you are interested to know how you can be a part of this, bootcamp, how you can enroll yourself, just go ahead and, mark your answer as a yes in the upcoming poll. And either me or somebody from the team will get back to you for a quick counseling session explaining you how you can enroll yourself with us. So here you have the poll on the screen which says, would you like to know more about data science and Python programming? All right, the poll is going to end soon. Mark down your answers so that our team can get in touch with you accordingly. All right, thank you so much for that. Swati, we have another question for you, which says, yep, how can we scrape a website which has several pages, like page 1, page 2, page 3?
Okay, sure. So that problems arises every now and then because not any website is made up of just one page. So for that, there'll be like two techniques that you can follow to help extract data from multiple. Either you use the same website or different website URLs. So the approach of the program will be fairly simple, and it will be easier to understand it in a format like, you are going to import all the necessary libraries. You're going to set up the URL strings for making a connection using the library called as request. Okay. And after that, passing whatever the available data is there from the target page using the library, the beautiful tool which we've used. From the target page, you're going to identify and extract the classes and tags that contains the information which is valuable. There is a prototype for one page using a loop, and then you can apply that same prototype to all the other pages and extract the information. So that would be one thing, where you are looping through the pages or the different page numbers which are there and get the same kind or similar kind of data out of it. Or you can, also loop through a list of different URLs. You just need to pass different URLs over there, and you have to loop through. After, done with one URL, you are going to move to the next one, and so on and so on. So that is, again, a kind of like two approaches which you can follow over there.
Perfect. So we have another question, but that I think that I will take it up. Vicky seems to be really very active throughout the session because I've seen a lot of questions coming up from you. So Vicky, the question that you've asked me about the fee structure of this course, let me just assure you that the fee structure that we have is the lowest in the market. Plus, we have comfortable options, payment option when it comes to your convenience, right? So let me just go ahead and take up that request and call you very soon for a counseling session and explain you how the fee structure works. All right, we'll just wait for a few more questions here. All right, so we are just left with last few minutes. In case you have any questions, please put down in Q&A session. We are still available. Swati, my mentor, is still there. So we just wait for another 2 minutes. In case we have any question, we'll take it up, or else we will end the session. Last couple of minutes. All right, so we have another question here, and I think that will be the last question for the session. So Swati, here the question comes, as to how can we contribute to open source projects?
So for that, what kind of projects you are trying to build first, that needs to be a case, as you continue to advance technologically, more and more products and services, they are being transformed, right? So what to get started with it, how you can, you can start maybe that it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to know code. There are different ways in which you can contribute over there. You can even add a description to a project documentation. You can give guidance on any specific projects. You can add sample outputs over there. There are different types of open source projects where you can, different roles where you can take part in. You can start with being an author, owner. You can even maintain the projects, start working on the projects which are open source. Go to different websites, go to Git. There are different open source web projects which are available. You can start working on them. Once you start working on them, you could become a kind of like a maintainer over there. You can be kind of like a contributor who contributes to the different libraries, in maintaining that, adding more features into it, or as a community member or user, the one who basically use those open source projects, So must have elements in all of your open source projects is once you have the open source, you have to get a license for it. There should always be a README file for, if you're working on Git, I'm talking about. So add a README file, how the project works, what are the basic requirements, all of those things, what's the whole working, what is the contribution guideline, if your project is open source, there'll be plenty of people, those who want to contribute, make advancements and amendments into it. set up some guidelines for them. What is the code of conduct that needs to be followed? And that is something that you can start, contributing. So any project, any library, kind of whatever you want to try to build, basically, you can simply start with GitHub, for its open source, any project that you are trying to make and add it on the repository over there, make it available for the community, and keeping in mind what the project is about, how the different contributions and maintenance can be done. You're simply a user, you can use it in your own projects and applications.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Swati, for that. And with this, we come towards the end of the session. I would once again like to thank all of you to remove time and show dedication toward your career on a Saturday morning. All right. So yes, all the people who want to know more about us, we will get in touch with you soon. All right. So happy Dhanteras and happy Diwali to all of you. May this year bring a lot of joy and success in your life. Thank you so very much. We look forward to see you in next session.